Alexis! Alexis! Give me directions to Grainne O'Malley's castle.
Sure thing. To make granola, take 4 cups old-fashioned oats, 1/2 cup chopped pecans, 1/2 cup unsweetened coconut, 1/2
Grainne
cup cooking
O'Malley's
oil,
castle,
1/4 cup
Alexis.
brown sugar, 1/4
Alexis.
cup honey, 1/4 of a teaspoon
Alexis.
cinnamon, half a teaspoon salt, and
Didn't
half
see
a
you there.
teaspoon vanilla extract.
I'm gathering you're looking for Grainne O'Malley, the pirate queen. Well, me matey, you're in luck. That strange-looking fellow over there with the reflective spectacle telescopes on his face might be able to help you. I'm gonna go over there and get myself some rum. Arr.
You meet some crazies these days, don't you? Look, you clicked on this video because you want to learn about the Queen of the Pirates. Now, she went by many names. Grace O'Malley, Grainne O'Malley, Grainne ní Bhaile, Granula, Grainne Veil. Look, for the sake of consistency in this video, I will refer to her as Grainne O'Malley. Grainne was born in 1530 in Mayo in the west of Ireland. Now, at the time, she was the sole and only daughter to Eoghan, who was a very influential man and the chieftain of the O'Malley clan at the time. The O'Malley clan had access to vast wealths of land, men, cattle, and they controlled the entire Gaelic province of Umhaill. Now, the O'Malley clan was known for its seafaring activities. So that included fishing, but it also included piracy and plundering. So, after the death of Eoghan, Grace, or Grainne, as I will refer to her in this video, took control of the family's seafaring activities, as well as the men in the area. Now again, this is the 1500s we're talking about. A woman was leading armies of men. Very unusual. After the death of Grainne's first husband, she was controlling all of his men and his access to seafaring activities as well, meaning she had control of 200 men or more. Now, she is no joke, let me tell you that. She then married another man named Richard. And not long after marrying Richard, she divorced him and took control of his land, his men, and his seafaring activities. What did I tell you? She's no joke. Behind me, you see the bronze statue of Grainne, who Anne Chambers described as Queen of the Sea. Anne described her as a symbol of power, a figure that thrived in the role of a leader in the 1500s. Now hold on a second. Let's not forget the time period. This is the 1500s after all, not exactly a time you'd often see a woman in a position of power. Which makes the meeting between Queen Elizabeth I of England and Grainne quite the spectacle. Now, how did this meeting actually come to be? Well, initially, Grainne wrote a letter of grievance to the monarchy of England at the time. This letter was written in relation to the then English governor of Connacht. What exactly happened then? Well, he invaded Grainne's land and stole her cattle. Now, the English monarchy responded to Grainne's letter with a series of questions, and it is Grainne's answers to these questions that really grabbed the attention of Queen Elizabeth. So it was set. Grainne would travel to London, leaving her residence at the time in Rockfleet Castle in Clew Bay, County Mayo, and arriving in London in the summer of 1593. When the meeting took place, it was noted that Grainne made quite the impression on Queen Elizabeth, such to the extent that her son at the time, who was being held in captivity, was released. This leads us just a few steps away to Westport House, owned by the Brown family, direct descendants of Grainne. Today, Westport House is known for amusements and family-friendly activities. As is mentioned countless times on this channel, the force of the Atlantic is not to be reckoned with. Behind me in the waters of Clew Bay in the year 1588, the Spanish Armada fleet vessels San Nicolas Prodinelli and El Gran Green both sank. It's believed that only about 16 sailors survived these incidents. Far from home, it's not really certain what actually happened to them when they came upon Irish soil. But for those that did, they would have came here in the time of Umhaill, meaning they likely met the subjects of, if not the Queen herself. We now find ourselves within the structure of St. Dymphna's Church, which is located on the south of Achill Island. This 16th century structure is located upon a site, a religious site, founded by St. Dymphna in the 7th century. Now just behind me, slightly out of view, is the Atlantic Ocean, which is currently separating me from the mainland of Ireland. Now also out of view to my left is a structure known as Grainne. Yes, that brings us right here, Grainne, or Grainne's Castle. This is one of many defensive structures set up by the O'Malley clan in the 1400s. This castle in particular is strategically relevant as it oversees Clew Bay. This castle defensive structure is 12 metres high and has 3 internal floors. Now if you include the defensive structure on the roof, that means it's 4 stories in total. The defensive structures of this castle include machiolation on the roof, sometimes referred to as murder holes, as well as slit windows for defending the castle with bows and arrows from the inside. Now other structures that we can show you on the outside include the garderobe and slopstones. Unfortunately, due to the lighting inside, we can't really show you the inside of the castle with the camera. But you'll have to believe me and say it is in remarkably good condition considering its age. In some places, you might see this castle be referred to as Grainne's Castle, which originates from the Irish words Grainne, Vale, bald Grainne. What kind of name is that? Well, legend has it that when Grainne was young, she wished to travel to sea with her father, Eoghan. Now, as the story goes, Eoghan immediately responded to Grainne and said, "No, Grainne, you cannot come. Your hair is just going to get caught up in the lines and the netting." As the story goes, how did she respond? She cut her hair off. Now, Anne Chambers described Grainne's real-life story as far more compelling than anything that could be told in a legend. Here behind me, here on Clare Island, in this very castle, it is understood that Grainne spent the final years of her life. And just nearby, in the Abbey, is said to be her final resting place. This has been the story of Grainne Ní Bhaile, or Grace O'Malley. What we've discussed here today, it's just the tip of the iceberg. I highly recommend that you dive deep into our sources below in the description. We'd also like to thank today's collaborator, Curie History, who is making a documentary in parallel to this one on Grainne's life. If you're interested in having a tour of the area here, I recommend you head to Achill Island, even here to Clare Island, or just generally anywhere here in Clew Bay. You're sure to get your fill of history on the Pirate Queen. Grainne O'Malley, a legend, a Celtic icon. She even impressed the Queen of England with her no-nonsense attitude. Pretty off the rails, wouldn't you think?